Hi, my name is Gerald Turner. I'm a chartered financial planner based here in Spain. There's been an awful lot of changes recently around Spanish wealth tax, both on a state basis and in Andalucia. And so today I want to talk you through who pays wealth tax, how is it calculated, and what the recent changes have been. So if you're ready, let's go. So let me start by saying nothing I say here should be considered financial advice. I don't know your individual circumstances, so this is just for information purposes only. If you want to get into the details, please get in touch with me individually and I'll see if I can help. Wealth tax was introduced back in 2011. It brings in about €1 billion a year, and about 160,000 taxpayers in Spain pay it each year. There are 17 different wealth taxes, 17 different autonomous regions in Spain, each with their own individual wealth tax and different wealth tax bands. So I'm going to talk about the state wealth tax here. So if we look at the exemptions to start with, you can see here that there's a 300,000 allowance for your main home, for property, and a further 700,000 per person for investments and cash. That 700,000 has been reduced down to 500,000 in Catalonia and the Comunidad Valenciana, meaning you're only exempt for 800,000 individually. But it does mean that for a couple, you can have up to 2 million exemption from wealth tax. If we look at the state tax rates now, here you can see that wealth tax goes from 0.2% up to 3.5% for wealth over €10,695,996. If we were to look at an example, if somebody had wealth of 2.3 million and qualified for the million exemption, they would pay a wealth tax bill of around €8,500. That said, there are some slight complicating factors. You can't pay more than 60% of your income in wealth tax and income tax, but you must pay at least 20% of the wealth tax calculation. So if we have a look at an example here, if you have income of say €20,000 and you pay income tax of 2,500 on that income, and say you had wealth of €6 million, that €6 million would have a wealth tax of €65,400. But you can't pay more than 60% of your income in wealth tax. That means you couldn't pay more than €12,000, but you must pay 20% of that 65,400. So that 20% of 65,400 is €13,080, which is actually what you would end up paying in this scenario. So you can see if you have a low level of income, this can significantly reduce your wealth tax bill. So let's talk a little bit about what's happened in Andalucia. As you can see here are some newspaper headlines. Andalucia has decided to abolish wealth tax and be the only region other than Madrid to have no wealth tax. The wealth tax accounted for only 0.6% of the region's total annual tax revenue, yet it discouraged wealthy residents from purchasing a house in the region. In the last financial year, 50% of the top 20 highest taxpayers decided to leave Andalucia, and this led to a tax loss of 3.5 million in wealth tax and 14 million in income tax. And for this reason, the government hopes that it will encourage high earners to come and move to Andalucia and obviously pay their taxes here. Now, this was introduced at the end of September 2022. In the last week or so, in early October, the state government said, look, we're going to introduce a new solidarity tax. This new solidarity tax or wealth tax is introduced for 2023 and 2024, and it's estimated that only 23,000 people will pay this, and it's to help get the country over the current crisis. The tax rates are 1.7% for wealth over 3 million up to 5 million euros, 2.1% between 5 and 10 million, and 3.5% over 10 million. With this wealth tax, Spain hopes to raise about 1.5 billion per year, and this will be from the top 0.1% wealthiest people only. You can offset any other state wealth tax against this new tax. So now you can see that even in Andalucia and Madrid, anybody with wealth over 3 million euros is being caught back into the wealth tax bands. So that's what's changed. That's how it's calculated. It only really affects the very, very wealthy in Spain. But if you have any questions or any queries about wealth tax, please get in touch. Thank you for your time.